As we all know, basketball is a physical and competitive sport, and in any physical and competitive activity, it is bound for tough and physical fouls to occur. However, sometimes certain basketball games can be just a little too aggressive to the point that it might as well be MMA.
Sizing him up. A blow by. Wow. You heard that slap. Yeah. From miles away. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. Wilder's tough though.
Cashnasty is famous for his incredible defense and physical plays. He doesn't shy away from fouling his opponents, especially when if it's a tournament or a prize on the line. On the other hand, we got Deestroying, who is an actual football player, and we all know how football players play basketball.
Blue 42, that's a football player on the court. Football players aren't necessarily aggressive on the court. They believe everybody should get their weight up and that everybody still has on pads. They have no regard for other people's life, just to shoot a layup and still miss.
Therefore, as you can guess, when these two played on different teams against each other, it was a brawl. Both sides were fouling the shit out of each other. It was a brutal game. The crazy part is that they were not even playing for money. It was a regular 2v2 and they were playing as if it was the playoffs. Every time Deestroying would go to the basket, Cash would slam into him and vice versa.
Pull up in your mouth. Stop it. Every time I drive in, bro, to collide.
Moreover, it wasn't just the fouls that made the game violent. It was the overall competitiveness of the game. King Cid was playing his heart out, going for every single rebound. Flight was reaching into his dot bag, trying to come up with different moves. Speaking of Flight, he literally sustained a minor injury by hitting the back of his head on a wall.
Hurt too, bitch. Bitch tackled the f out me, bro. I'm just trying to play through the pain right now. I ain't no bitch, I ain't gonna call that. We played through that shit. After the game, we'll complain like a hoe, but we chilling right now.
And I'm pretty sure King Cid sustained some bruises from all the diving he was doing. Deestroying was in pain pretty much the entire game. Cash was drained and tired. Overall, it was honestly one of the most entertaining 2v2 I have ever seen. Amazing sportsmanship and overall competitiveness, with of course lots of heart and physicality from both sides.
I'm good. He's slamming me to the floor. Yeah, you grab me. Tell your man stop slamming me. Right shit.
They cool. They ain't on shit. We cool.
Attack that ankle.
Luckily, they got separated and kept it basketball. Despite that, they still went at it, both sides this time playing physical and doing the absolute most to stop each other from scoring. Even after the game was over and Kel won, he refused to shake Skoob's hand after Skoob extended his arm and offered him a handshake. However, despite this game seeming like it's one of the most physical games out there, it's nothing compared to this one. MJM Tyler, who is also from Philly and a member of MJM, played a couple of 1v1s back to back, and they were so brutal that they made Kel vs Skoob seem like a friendly banter between two friends. The first game was filled with so much hacking and flagrant fouls that honestly I thought they were playing a different sport. The first game, Tyler was literally spitting blood after being elbowed in his mouth, injuring his tongue in the process. The game was so tough and physical that Tyler looked like he just went through a boxing match rather than a simple 1v1 game of basketball.
What happened, Tyler? What happened? Offensive foul?
The second game was probably even more aggressive and physical, fouls from both sides, highly competitive and brutal. It was fun to watch, but they were really going at it. The game was so competitive and heated that at some point they bumped heads with each other, resulting in the other dude busting his eyebrows wide open.
Pick up! Damn, bro. Damn, you hacking ass! I know it's game, but damn! Huh? Let me see what happened. Let me see it. Shirt leaking.
After the game was over and you look at both of them, there is no way that they were just done playing basketball. The next game on the list probably has the craziest opening in any basketball game on YouTube. Just take a look at this. Yep, that was literally first possession. Rob barely got to touch the ball and B. Smith was already fouling him. The rest of the game was equally as intense, with both sides fouling each other and being aggressive and overall competitive. Almost every single time Rob would drive to the basket, he almost immediately regrets it, getting slapped on the back of his head, slammed to the floor, grabbed, wrapped, all types of fouls. And to be fair, Rob was also fouling B. Smith and returning the same energy. It was a proper fight, two skilled hoopers going at it with each other, playing their hearts out. All of the hoopers that I mentioned previously are physical and play somewhat violently. However, they all pale in comparison to the infamous twins. The twins from next chapter are the most physical hoopers that I have ever seen on YouTube. I mean, this is literally what overseas pros and D1 college players has to say about them.
Them boys, listen, y'all be asking for the twins, I just don't think y'all know what y'all asking for real. Them boys is different.
These too crazy, bro.
I never played them, ever. Ever.
The twins, them boy they got this here, bro.
The twins played plenty of violent and physical basketball games. However, in my opinion, these three have to be at the top of the tier list. One of the twins teamed up with Draco from next chapter and played against two elite hoopers from Lancaster, and it was a battle. Not only the score was close the entire game, but also both sides were fouling each other, with twins being the most physical and aggressive most of the time, treating basketball like it's football and doing stuff like this.
The twins got like one of these type falls every episode. Y'all got a hard ass foul.
He didn't want him to get no easy way.
I don't tackle him, bro. You want to give him an easy layup? You can hold him down. You got to ground him.
Trey had no remorse whatsoever, absolute demon. Believe it or not, that was a relative tame game compared to their second most violent basketball game, which was in ATL. This time, both twins teamed up to play in Atlanta. At first, the vibes were cool, both sides were playing relatively tame, with no crazy fouls or flagrant plays. However, the more heated the game got, the crazier and more ridiculous the fouls got.
Hey, watch this, man.
If you look at these clips without any context, you would assume that it was rugby or Dagestani basketball. It was absolute mayhem, both sides getting mad and letting their emotions get the best of them. The craziest part about this game is that Scotty literally had to cut out some footage due to how toxic the game got.
Another real tense game. It got way out of hand.
Next chapter, money line, man. We comfortable in the trenches, man.
That's not, like, we want to show you guys what happened so you guys can understand everything, but that's not really what we want to do like that. So, I mean, It's just the sidelines go crazy. It's not what's happening on the court. So for the sidelines, we can't be having stuff like that because that's just not what the next chapter is about.
But despite all of that, the Twins' craziest and most violent game of basketball that I have ever seen by far was when they played a 2v2. The Twins played in Baltimore in a highly anticipated game, and right off the bat, the energy was crazy. You already know it was going to be a long game with plenty of fouls and tough physicality from both sides. Almost every single bucket was an and one. Twins were diving for the ball, the other team was fighting for their lives, a classical Twins type of game. However, what happened next was nothing that anyone expected. The score was 10-13. The other team was having the lead, and obviously the last thing you want is for the Twins to turn the tide and make the game even closer than what it actually is. Therefore, when one of the Twins stole the ball and drove to the basket, they had no choice but to foul him. Except this time, this foul was so ridiculously hard that Trey literally had a concussion and had to stop the game.
Stop the clock.
Damn, that's how you feeling?
Give us a leg, give us a leg, give us a leg, give us space.
That's no bet. Yeah, I saw that shit. Nah, that's no bet.
Unfortunately, after this foul, Trey was unable to continue the game, which led to a forfeit. Upon going to the doctors, Trey found out he had a concussion.
This has to be the craziest foul that I have ever seen since the Slim Reaper shoulder injury.
I'm always trying to walk the line between us. So pay no mind to my pride. I don't need it.